Downsizing is liberating. I literally went from having 2 cars in a big house and lots of equipment. Like at one point, I had like 12 microphones, 5 cameras, 5 or 6 computers, so many screens. I went from this, like, I think when I left the house, when I moved away and started traveling, I think I had something like 12 boxes full of equipment. And this is just the small stuff. And I went from that to just living with 2 suitcases. Okay, now maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, maybe. But the point is, I really downsized because I started traveling, so I had no choice basically. That's what really helped me. So this is where I came from. That's what I want to talk about today in this video, because I never thought I would say this, because I was really fearing it. I was like, whoa, I love my cameras and all that equipment that I took years to purchase and build up my stack and all my equipment, all of that, and all these things I have, to this day where I can tell you, I can look you in the eyes and say to you, I am so happy. I never felt happier than since I downsized. So I think that's something you should experiment once in your life, willingly, because I did it willingly. Like I said, it wasn't because I had some grand revealing dream or whatever. It was because I wanted to travel. I was at the end of a relationship. I decided to leave the house and leave my place. And at that point, I wasn't sure I was ever going to come back. Actually, I was like 80-20. 80%, I was sure I would never come back. 20%, I was like, maybe I will come back. But I couldn't take the bet. So what I decided was it was time for me to leave the house and that place. So the fact that I wanted to travel really forced me to think, what do I need to keep? And the first thing I learned is that my stress levels went down. I never felt so free because I didn't have that stress anymore. Like, for example, back in the day when I was like going on holidays, I was with my girlfriend and we're leaving the house, going for 1 month or 2 or 3 weeks outside, I mean, in another country. And I was thinking about, yeah, the alarm and all the stuff I have and the cars and all of that. And now I don't have this anymore. Also, the mental toll on things. So for example, if you have 2 cars, you need twice the insurance, and then you got some administrative tasks to complete regarding those 2 cars. And basically, if it was just 2 cars, that would be fine. But on top of that, you got all the other stuff that you own and that you need to do stuff for, you need insurance for, and it really clutters your mind. So that was the first benefit that personally I learned once I got rid of all of that. Now you might be thinking, bro, you need a car. How can you be happy without a car? Well, I'm not saying I will never get a car again. I'm just saying, as I needed to travel, well, I had to get rid of those cars. And I tend to like to go in countries where the cost of life is lower. And actually in those countries, it's way cheaper for me to use taxi or a motorbike. It's way cheaper than owning a car. If I factor in the price of the car itself, whether it's installments or maybe you paid for it, you got insurance, you got gas, you got maintenance. It's way cheaper to use taxi if you go to countries where the cost of living is less than in the West. And that's what I did. So for me, it was actually a gain. It was saving me money, saving me time also, because I don't need to find parking spots. I don't need to pay for a parking spot where I decide to live or stay. And like I said, maybe one day I will need a car again, but right now that's really something I love and appreciate. The next benefit is that you're now flexible. So when I got rid of all those things, I was free to travel the world and go wherever I wanted. Now, if I wanted to keep on making videos, because yeah, this is not my main channel, I got another channel, which is my main channel, and I'm also posting on another channel. Maybe more about that later, but the point is, I still needed some equipment, and also for my work. You know, I've been building websites for years. I've been in marketing, branding. So basically all I needed was a computer, but I also wanted my camera and a microphone. And I really downsized. So I got a tiny camera, I got a tiny microphone. To be honest, I got 2 cameras. I got one that's a bit bigger, but the point is I really downsized. And by doing that, I can go wherever I want, you know. If I can put everything in 2 suitcases, that's how I started my travel. And then over time, it evolved into longer stays. And then I got another plan for the future. But I haven't come back to the point where I'm owning so many stuff like I used to do before. So now I'm very flexible. And when there is an opportunity, at least I'm not thinking in the back of my mind where I'm going to put those stuff, where I'm going to put this, and I need insurance for this and that. I don't need that anymore. If tomorrow I have an opportunity in South America, I can go. And that frees up the mind so much. I can't believe how lightweight I feel. Now, another thing I learned is that things don't make you happy, but living moments do. Because I don't believe you're always in a state of happiness. I mean, I don't know anyone who's always in a state of happiness. And if they do look like they're in a state of happiness, they're probably lying, because I don't know no human being who can achieve that state. And if you know anyone, please let me know. But what I realized, I'm not a materialistic person, but I'm a geek for tech. I'm a tech nerd. I love tech. So I always thought these things gonna make me happy. And then the next thing you know, you get it, you unbox it, you're happy. 1 month later, you don't even know where it is. What I realized is the memories I made, those small moments, like the first time arriving in Bangkok, discovering the city, the smells, my first pad thai in Bangkok, and some places in the city like the Lumpini Park and other landmarks, or the first time I arrived in Vietnam and the first bún chả I ate. These things are still in my mind to this day. But if I try to think about, I don't know, the day I got my PlayStation 5, which I don't have anymore, by the way, yeah, I kind of remember, but I remember it in a way it was annoying, the queue and everything, the stress of, am I going to get it or not? But this is not comparable to what I felt when I first arrived in Hanoi. It was discovery, it was a new world. And these are the things that can make you happy. At least these are the things that make me happy. So what I'd like you to do is to tell me in the comments, have you downsized or are you scared to do it? And if you're scared to do it, please let me know what is the biggest barrier. Why are you not doing it? And also, if you manage to downsize and you have tips that you want to share, please let me know in the comments, because even though I talked about downsizing materialistic stuff, like basically gear and stuff like that, I also believe you need to downsize a lot of things to declutter your mind. And I've been doing that at the same time, as well as downsizing the relationships, the fake friendships, and all of that. That really helped. But it all started with getting rid of physical stuff, because physical stuff, you can see it. Whereas fake relationships and people you don't need in your life, this is more abstract. So I really believe that just starting with stuff just gives you the path, and you start understanding the benefit of downsizing, and then you can move on to relationships and other things that you have in mind. So please let me know your tips. I really want to know, because I'm on this journey and I have the feeling that there's a lot of things I'm still missing. So maybe you can help me to fill that part of the puzzle. As for me, I'll see you in the next one.